Let's go. It is happening.
55 seconds. Let's go, boys.
Fuck, I need to pee.
Ah, you should have peed like a minute ago.
Come on, go. Come on, dude.
Come on.
You had like 20 minutes.
He had a whole hour.
You better run. Fun in my tum-tum. Why do you be like this? Mango, are you back?
Hi, I'm
Rod.
Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Welcome to our live stream. We have a busy lineup today with announcements for Path of Exile 2, as well as the exclusive reveal of Path of Exile Necropolis, which launches on March 29th. For the first time ever, we'll be releasing this expansion simultaneously on all platforms,
Oh no.
PC,
I
Mac,
don't know who
and
this
console.
mine is.
Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your suffering
In
back
order to claim
attachment.
your suffering.
And game changes.
Today's stream will start with Path of Exile 2, where
Campaign
Jonathan will show you our
improvements,
latest
man.
announcements.
Oh.
Mark will then take you on a deep dive into the new
Oh.
Path of Exile Necropolis
Are
challenge
you guys
mode,
like in front
which
of me or
launches in 1
something?
week.
What?
He'll cover the
I'm
league
not sure.
mechanics, its deep crafting system,
Okay, I'm gonna be
large
quiet.
in-game changes, some improvements to the
Same.
core Path of Exile
As soon
campaign,
as you say
and
something,
finally
I'm
some
gonna talk
quality of
about
life features. We'll then show you our new supporter packs, and we'll head into a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask us your questions from Twitch chat. After the live stream, we'll drop
I mean,
full
there's
pack notes.
endgame changes, so that might be new Ubers,
Hey
right?
guys, it's time to chat about PoE 2 again.
Probably.
It's only been a few months since we talked about the Mercenary, and yet even since then a huge amount has changed. When we announced the Mercenary, we also showed off a lot of the new capabilities that our engine has around animation and character control. Moving while shooting was a huge deal in that class, but there were a lot of other more subtle things going on to make it feel good too. Well, in recent times we've only been showing off new character classes, but one thing I've been really excited about is to go back and apply all the new ideas and capabilities that we have to our old classes too. Today I'd like to show off the Ranger,
knew
and I
it.
hope that you guys like what you see.
It's gonna be more than the initial video.
I've lived in this forest all my life. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that a ranger must never miss. A beast will hunt you. But it is the cruelty of man I fear. There is no truly escaping
was
the
fucking
count's
awesome.
justice.
Your sentence is to be hanged from the neck until dead.
New boss
Let your
confirmed.
souls feed the first ones.
I think this is
and your
the
bodies feed the land.
new intro window at the start of the
After
game.
her.
Yeah. Look at that.
This looks so good, dude.
See, new boss.
This exile has changed me.
What?
No more running.
Well,
No more fear.
screw that guy.
The
Oh, that's a
Ripposer.
lot of damage.
Oh, did he?
I will put an end
Oh, you're
to
riding
this
a
madness.
bird?
Mount. That's cool. You guys are definitely ahead of me. Quickly refresh.
Let's go.
A 106,000 people watching. That's amazing.
Let the hunt begin.
Let the hunt begin. Okay, let's go.
Oh, you are even ahead of me. Wow.
When we started to work on the Ranger, we knew we had to make a class with high agility. The dream of fast bow gameplay is Legolas, so that's what we wanted to deliver.
Legolas.
The starting point is moving while shooting a bow.
Legolas.
Any kind of basic
Oh, you're ahead
arrow
of
skill
me,
can be
what the
fired
hell?
while moving with a movement.
Whatever, I'm staying.
This immediately gives you a lot more freedom on the battlefield. Here, I'm starting each battle with a poison burst arrow to poison groups of enemies, then using a lightning arrow to arc lightning around larger packs. For even more
tornado
mobility,
shot.
we also have a variety of
looks
skills
so
that involve
good,
vaulting
man.
around the battlefield too. This is Frost Escape. Using it jumps backwards and shoots a freezing arrow at the ground. Really useful if monsters close on you and you need to get away. Once you've landed, if monsters were frozen, it'd be nice to have some way to take advantage of that extra time. This is where Snipe comes in. Snipe is a skill shot that you need to charge up and release at exactly the right
Oh,
time.
nice. I love those.
If you
That's
land the right timing, Snipe is guaranteed to produce a critical strike, and does a small AoE as well, so it's a great finisher. You can also
Storm
move while shooting arrow rain skills too.
Like a
This skill is Lightning Rod. It shoots an
Lightning
arrow
rod.
into the air that sticks into the ground and does a small AoE. Once the rods are in the ground though, they attract any arcs of lightning that are nearby, causing them to explode again.
Oh, funny.
This means you can stack up a bunch of lightning rods on the ground and bounce lightning between them, doing way more damage.
It's a storm arrow.
Now this takes care of packs pretty well, but for bigger enemies I'd like to have something that's going to
different
enhance my damage output too. This skill is Stormcaller Arrow. Using it sticks an arrow into an enemy. After a short period of time, a lightning bolt comes from the sky and strikes them. This has a high chance to shock them, and shocked enemies take 30% more damage from all sources. If something big walks along, it's a good idea to throw one of these at them first to enhance your damage before following up with the other combo. Now, if I really want to enhance this combo, there are a couple of things I could do using our support gem system. Skills in Path of Exile are granted by items called skill gems.
What?
Each skill gem has coloured sockets in it, and these sockets are for other items called support gems. Support gems modify your skills,
Support
and that's
gems?
where a huge amount of the customization of your
those?
character comes from.
what are those?
First, I'm going to take this multiple projectile support gem. I could add it to my lightning arrow, and it would fire multiple arrows. This would increase the number of targets I can hit, but that isn't the effect that I'm after. If I add it to my lightning rod skill instead, then when I fire it, I get a nice group of rods. This means that I don't have to spend as much time setting up before I can use it with my lightning arrow combo. I might also add faster projectiles to make the lightning rods land faster too. Now next up I'm going to grab this chain support gem. Chaining causes many effects to repeat on new targets when you hit them. If I add it to my lightning arrow, it will cause the arcs that come out of lightning arrow to strike even more targets, rippling along my line of lightning rods for huge
Feel like
amounts of
this
damage.
is made for packs.
Oh, it looks cool.
That is
Looks really
insane.
cool.
Now I think we can use support gems to improve Stormcaller Arrow as well. Let's start simple. I'm going to chuck less duration on here. This will cause the lightning from the sky to strike a bit faster. Next up we have a support called Shock Proliferation. This support makes it so that any enemies shocked by the skill will also have the shock jump to nearby enemies, meaning they'll take the extra damage as well.
I see the
It's just a
health
chance to proc, so it's not going to
changes
proc on every
you're
single
poisoned.
pack. But when it does,
Yeah.
the pack will go down ultra quick.
Diablo 2 style.
Yeah.
Another useful empowering skill is Barrage. Barrage is one of the rare cooldown skills in
The
PoE.
UI looks
It
also
enhances
like
whatever
old
your next
school,
attack is to fire 3 times.
right?
With what we have here, I think it might be a good idea to use it with Lightning Arrow. It'll generate 3 times as many lightning explosions. You could also use it at just the right moment with Snipe, or any number of other skills depending on what effect you need more of right now.
Flying.
It's very versatile and can be used in a range of situations.
You almost died.
Now, even as mobile as the Ranger is, it's still very useful to slow monsters down, and a Ranger certainly has quite a few tools to do this. If you're prepared to get up close and personal, we have a skill called Electrocuting Rod. First, jump over the enemy and shoot it into them. Once the rod's in place, any lightning damage they take will build up a special electrocute gauge. Once the gauge is full, the monster is totally suppressed, allowing you to kill them easily.
You can already see.
Now, sometimes when you use
WA's
electrocuting
move-
rod, the enemy
movement.
dies before you get a chance to electrocute them. I think
That's
there's
very
another
nice.
support gem I could add to my lightning arrow to fix this problem. Neural Overload will make it easier to electrocute enemies. If the skill it's attached to puts them over 50% of their electrocute bar, it will trigger instantly.
Ooh. that green elf one. It looks so cool.
Wait, the enemies also get that.
Now
That's
this skill
nice.
works really well for suppressing a single large enemy, but I'd like to improve my crowd control ability for groups as well. I'm going to add a support gem called Frozen Nexus to my Frost Escape. This makes an area of chilled ground around frozen enemies. I'll also add Deep Freeze to it as well, which will make the freezes last a bit longer. Now when I use my Frost Escape on that front enemy, others nearby are slowed down. It would also be good if I had a way to slow enemies down when they're farther away from me as well. So this would be a great time to start getting into the ranger's poison and plant-based skill set. To start with, let's have a look at Vine Arrow.
Oh, that looks like
This skill fires an
good.
arrow into the
Warframe
air that
to
creates a
grain.
small plant where it lands.
the
The
Warframe
plant
arrow.
sends out tendrils to nearby enemies,
Warframe
swelling
arrow?
them down and
The one
poisoning
bow
them. But it does have another
that you
function
shot
too.
also
Oh,
a plant.
yeah.
The plant gets
Yeah,
further
yeah,
poison
yeah,
and
right.
transfers that poison to the monsters it's attached
Wait,
to.
you also play Warframe.
Normally you would only be able to get one stack of poison on a monster at a time, but you can put as much poison as you want on this plant. You could just use the plant to slow monsters down and not worry about the poison part. But if you want to go all in on poison, this is the way to do it. Now if you do want to focus on poisons more, another useful skill is Poison Bloom Arrow. This skill creates these plant pustules on the ground. If you wait a little while, they'll explode. Just like any other plant skill, these plants respond well to poison. Shoot the Poison Burst arrow at enemies nearby and watch your plants grow more and more powerful. Poisoning the pustules causes them to do much more damage and makes them explode much faster as well. I can also add the Pierce support to Poison Burst arrow. Doing this will mean I get multiple poison bursts as it goes through each monster.
That looks like a toxic rain type
It's so scary
explode?
once you
His
almost
health
die
goes
every
down,
second.
yeah. Gas.
Gas arrow.
We also have another
Ooh.
skill to make a nice environment for your plants.
Wait,
to
did you
grow.
see how he just?
Gas
Yeah, did you
cloud.
see how
All of
he
them.
moved
This
the
skill
skills
shoots
out?
the ground and creates
Yeah,
a cloud
all
of
of them
gas
at the
that
same
was
time.
instantly poisons things inside it. Throw your plants down, then put a gas cloud on top.
Took out the
The
skill
constant
gem.
poisoning will make
Yeah.
them
Skill
grow.
them gem the other spot gems, so yeah, just move all of them out. It's cool.
Ooh, gas cloud.
Wait. Oh, I thought they were like in the gem still, but they are actually outside.
Another
Okay.
poison-related skill we have on the
Yeah.
Ranger is called Plague Bearer. This is a reservation skill, meaning it uses Spirit.
Like
When I enable it, I
Poison
get this
Spirit.
counter that counts up whenever I apply poison to a monster.
the spirit is the new reservation.
You can
thing.
see the counter
That's
on the skill
above
increasing
the-
as
the
each
blue,
new monster is
the white
poisoned.
bar.
white.
The white bar probably above there.
Now I'm going to
above
fight
the
these
map.
monsters
White
and make
bar
sure to
above the
poison
blue.
them as much as I can to build up the counter.
6%. Does it do the same?
It does take quite a while to get the counter up to 100%, but it's worth it. Whenever I choose, I can unleash the poison in a big
Oh, just
explosion around my
instant,
character, dealing a large amount of damage.
Oh, it's just
Ooh,
like a, it's
rain of
not a
arrows.
AoE running.
next up we have a
ability like it
classic.
was.
Rain of
Yeah.
arrows. It's simple.
Big blast.
Shoot a bunch of arrows in the
Which
sky,
makes
and they
sense.
rain down for a short
cool.
time.
Because poison
It's
already is
decent
over
AoE
time.
and
now
damage at long
you have
range.
some
Yeah,
big
that's
boom.
Now this
I
skill doesn't
definitely
last
am
too
gonna
long,
play
but we
Rain
can
of
change
Arrows.
that. It's time to introduce frenzy charges.
frenzy charges.
Frenzy
Ooh.
charges are used for a variety
Here
of
we go.
skills on the Ranger, but with Rain of Arrows they can be used to extend the duration.
You're mine.
How do we get some though? Here we have a skill called Sniper's Mark. Put it on an enemy and it will grant you a frenzy charge when you crit them. Now remember that snipe skill from earlier? That skill guarantees a critical hit. So first we Sniper's Marked an enemy, then we sniped them. And after that, the next rain of arrows will last a really, really long time.
Jesus.
Ooh.
We still have some weaknesses though. While Rain of Arrows hits enemies with a ton of arrows, each one doesn't do
Armor
much damage individually.
Penetration, maybe.
It would be nice if we had a way to break the armor on enemies so that Rain of Arrows dealt more damage. Thankfully, we have this Corrode Armor support gem, and we can put it on our Gas Cloud arrow. Corrode Armor causes poison to erode the armor on targets until it's all gone. This will significantly increase the damage that
That's
Rain of Arrows does
insane.
against armored targets.
It's armored.
Oh yeah,
targets.
and
So
one more
there's
thing about gas clouds.
armored
They can be
targets as
detonated
well.
with explosions.
Whoa!
I have an explosive
Oh,
arrow.
that's
Yay.
Let's check it out.
That's cool.
That is good. I love it. Exploit weakness.
Wait.
Now, because monsters and gas
detonating
clouds are
arrow.
likely to have their armor broken, I think there's another useful combo we can do. This is an exploit weakness support. This support provides extra bonus damage to targets that have their armor broken. Perfect for what we have going on here. So,
Actually
those are just some of the
continuously
skills
almost
we have on
dying.
the Ranger
Yes.
class in Path of Exile 2. Now that we've seen all these skills, let's see how well they do against a much tougher enemy.
That
It's time
land
to
also
fight the
looks
boss of the
fun.
temples, Thanos.
Thanos?
Kitava's cursed madness never ends.
Why's my stream stopping?
Thanos.
Master Son. His bar also turns green.
And he was talking about Kitava.
He looks like a cuff shaper.
Maybe he
Why
is.
sound directional? That is annoying me. Shit.
I kinda like that.
I like it as well, kinda.
Because you know where shit is coming from.
Yes, I do like it kind of, but it's always too much for me. Like a little bit. I feel like my left speaker is just dead.
Well, that is a headset issue.
Yes, I know. Kind of a me problem. Kind of. In a way.
Yeah, exactly. That's a you problem.
It's a you problem. Hiya Emma, Dave. How's it going? Thanks for the follow, by the way. It's suddenly very hot.
His PP is growing.
Getting excited, boys. PoE 2. Oh, his skills look so good.
Yeah, he's throwing chaos orbs at him. You see that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, look at that.
Actual
Good hell.
good boss fights.
That's so cool. Looks really good.
I think this is an actual good design boss fight compared to like what we have in PoE 1.
They said they're adding like a lot of these like type of bosses in the campaign.
Yep.
Yeah, but I would like it if this is also like an end game boss or something like that.
Yeah, it makes it possible probably because it most of the campaign stuff
the
now
Ranger.
will
But
be
yeah,
in your
there
end
was
game as well.
one more thing.
Probably.
Because
The mount.
I think some of
Check
the
this
stuff
out.
that they're doing with PoE 1 is just
Yes, you can ride a rower.
True. You
While
can
riding
ride a
you
rower.
can shoot arrows with no movement penalty. It's pretty
The new
overpowered.
rowers look
You can
kind of
also use your
cool.
vaulting skills to jump right off the rower's back. Once the rower doesn't have a rider, it starts attacking monsters, so he's nice to have around,
attacking
even if you're not
monsters.
riding him.
What, you have a
That said,
pet
if
on
you
a
are riding,
ranger?
Don't get hit. If you take a heavy stun while on a rower, you'll fall off, and it takes a while to get up. So be careful.
I mean this is
So
just
that's what we wanted to show you today. Now
I mean,
there is
that's
just
cool.
one more rather
That's
unfortunate
cool.
bit of news.
this is what
Path of Exile
Diablo 4
2's
should
beta
have
is
been.
going to be
Yeah.
delayed. We previously said that we would get the beta out on June 7th. And while I think we would be able
Imagine
to get
your
the game's
horse
content ready in
on
time,
Diablo
we
4
underestimated how long it would
stomping
take to get gameplay polished to a standard that
And
we're happy
everything
with.
like that. That would
We're
be
still
cool.
going to be doing alpha testing in June, but we're going to be delaying the beta until later in the year.
It does
I
have
don't have an
the
exact date for you
mechanical
today,
when
but
you
it should be towards
get
the end
off
of
the
the year.
horse, you can do
In the
like
meantime,
a
you can
skill
still
type
play
of
Path
thing,
of
but
Exile
it's-
1, of course.
You can't use it
Now,
that
speaking
often.
of PoE 1, we also have the 324 expansion to announce. I'm going to hand over to Mark, the game director on PoE 1, to show us what's in store.
Here we go, boys.
We had a lot of fun making this one, so let's just get straight into it with the
Oh.
trailer for
Oh.
Path of Exile
Lot of fun.
Necropolis.
Here we go, boys.
Here we go. Real content time.
Cold flesh, dirt, maggots, and ghosts.
Let's turn it
Our
on.
job is to keep them where they belong. It's your first night, so you'll
No,
need
abyss.
this.
A sort of abyss.
A
Necropolis.
ghostly lantern for ghastly tinkering.
Lantern Boys.
Okay.
Wait, what's that bow? What's that skill?
Oh,
You learn to
I want to
peer
pause.
into the
Why?
souls
What's
of the
happening?
Dead.
Oh, it looks like
You
a
learn
Sanctum
how to
type of
twist
gold.
them.
Gold your experience.
Build it up.
Meet
Build
me
a
in the
dungeon.
Necropolis.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You can pilfer shiny things from a
God.
corpse.
But you can you put
But you
corpses
can
into the ground
glorious
to
And
build
then
your
fight
from
them.
a soul.
Okay.
It is build a boss.
It's build the boss, sort of.
A grave digger.
Whoa!
Oh.
What?
Brutus.
Yes!
Oh. Scatter
over.
Oh god. Yes, please.
New
Penultimate
multiple
bosses.
bosses.
Yes.
Oh, let's
Quality of
go.
life, obviously.
Yes! I'll do it!
Transfig.
Let's go.
Yes. Oh god, it's so fast. Oh.
I see ya.
Look at those.
The job's
So
hard,
hard.
but the pay's good.
Let's
Wait,
go.
March
What
29,
do you
that's like
say?
next week.
It is next. I said that like.
In the Necropolis League, you will encounter Undertaker Aramor, a man collecting the scattered spirits of the Eternal Empire for a mysterious purpose.
Okay.
These spirits have begun to haunt the monsters of Rayclast, unleashing their ancient fury and sorrow onto the world. The Undertaker will provide you with the Lantern of Aramor, a powerful family heirloom which can illuminate the wrathful spirits haunting monsters throughout Rayclast. With it, the Undertaker hopes to employ you to rid Rayclast of this menace, and further his cryptic cause. The lantern can be used when entering any new area. When peering through it, you can examine the spirits haunting that area. The lantern also allows you to manipulate them, letting you configure which monsters are affected by which mods. It would be wise to take your time with your decisions here, for the spirits are not forgiving. When peering through the lantern, you can also see extra details about the packs of monsters in the area. Rollers here are considered common,
Build your encounter type
whereas
of
the
thing.
water elementals are more scarce. If you want things to be easier, you can put the more difficult spirits on the elementals, which you'll encounter less often. We've tried to make sure that by engaging with the lantern, you are able to intelligently control the difficulty in the Necropolis League. The spirits come in a number of forms which represent the danger they pose.
Oh,
For example
70%
here,
increased damage.
the infested vultures are servant haunted, causing them to deal a small amount of increased damage. But the Vol's Vanguard are noble haunted, causing them to deal a large amount of increased damage. As you reach higher level areas in Rayclast, the tier and number of spirits that are haunting monsters will generally increase. Your game knowledge can help you here. If you're aware of the composition of a monster pack, this means certain mods will be easier to manage. For example, the mod that increases a pack's damage for every monster killed has no effect on packs with a single monster, like a Devourer. However, if we found a spirit that makes the strongest monster in a pack deal 100% more damage, well, I'm going to avoid the Devourer. You might have noticed that the Lantern of Aramor provides other useful information, such as the types of abilities monsters use, or the damage types they deal. So for those who are less familiar with how these monsters work, this can be a great way to learn what you're up against. The spirits are constantly moving throughout Rayclast, so if you are finding a campaign area too difficult, you can just wait a few minutes and peer through the lantern again to see what's changed. Of course, powerful
He
spirits
got
beget
wrecked.
powerful rewards. There are two reasons why you might want to face a challenge now and then. Firstly, not all the spirits are malicious. Sometimes the monsters aren't haunted at all, but are instead devoted. These can grant basic rewards like increased experience, or bigger rewards like spawning the Nameless Seer, an NPC that will grant you a single unique item after you defeat all of the packs affected by that
Oh, that
spirit.
guy again.
That guy again, yeah.
The more
from
haunted
fiction.
monsters you defeat in the previous area before using the lantern, the more likely the devoted monsters will appear in the next area. Monsters haunted by higher tier spirits will increase the chance of the devoted appearing even more, meaning that sometimes it's worth putting the hardest modifier possible on very common monsters, if you're brave enough. Again, We've tried hard here to allow players to customize the danger and rewards as much as they can.
600 increased experience.
Aramor is
Oh
an
my God.
Undertaker, and you can probably guess what we're taking to him. The second main reward from the Necropolis League is monsters with unresolved anguish. Once slain, their corpses need extra care from the Undertaker, and he will offer to take them back to his necropolis and
Oh, that
store them
looks
in
so
his vault.
good.
Looks
That's
Time
cool.
to earn your keep. When you are ready,
Oh,
you can
this
visit the
zone
vault to
looks
view the
good.
monsters you have collected, and then get to work burying them in one of many graves in Aramor's cemetery. For example, we will bury this Katava's Herald. Aramor's mysterious soul experiments can coalesce powerful
Wait.
items.
50 to
Here
speed
I've chosen to
modifier.
create a pair of boots.
Wait, isn't this like
What
old
does-
crafting or something?
What does that mean? 50 speed modifier. That's not a
It looks
percentage,
like
right?
harvest
These boots
crafting.
are useful for my character,
What?
but aren't exactly what I hoped for. And this is where the Necropolis crafting system
Oh my
really
God, what
shines.
is-
You'll have noticed that the corpse we collected earlier had a crafting effect on it. In fact, all collected corpses do. If you bury multiple corpses in the cemetery, all adjacent corpses can be exercised at once to create one item.
600% chance to life modifier.
All of the crafting effects on those corpses will apply to that same item.
Oh.
This allows you to have either one or many different crafting projects ongoing in the cemetery. For example, next time I try to create boots, I could bury corpses that increase the chance of getting move speed modifiers. To go further, I could use these to generate higher tier modifiers. Then, I could try to bias it towards being an evasion pair with this. Finally, I'll apply some crafting effects that improve the probability of getting good rolls. Now, let's craft our item and see what we get.
That's
Wait,
insane.
all
That's
of the
insane.
connected ones.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of...
I thought only like the adjacent ones. Oh my.
No, so once per burial thing.
As you can see now, we have a much
That's some
better
boost.
pair of
That's not
boots,
bad.
forged from the souls of our enemies.
That's some good boots, boys.
You could even
Holy
use
shit.
the entire cemetery to craft one item.
The entire
Entire
cemetery.
cemetery.
Always something you can do to try and ensure your item will be as best as it can be.
Now this
We hope to
is
see
one
some
way
really
to get
crazy
like
grave
the
crafts.
best items in the game.
If you are
Wait.
lucky, you might find
Was it
corpses
fractured?
Oh,
with
he
meta
didn't show.
crafting
Yeah, it was
modifiers.
Yes.
fractured as well.
These
Oh,
can be
veils?
buried to manipulate your crafting projects
Take it
in
as a
more
veil
drastic ways. This one increases the potency of all crafting effects of adjacent undead corpses. Another meta crafting modifier gives a chance to drop an extra item from your craft, with all the same crafting outcomes applied. All you have to do is bury a lot of undead monsters.
You get like 2 shields.
3 shields. He's gonna drop 3.
Two.
He had a 5% chance. So why not?
You can
three?
also craft new unique items exclusive to the Necropolis League using this system.
Wait, you can
As you
craft
explore
new unique
Rayclast, you might
items?
find the corpses of
unique
famous Eternal Empire families. And when you bury an entire family together and exorcise them, they will thank you with a unique specific to their lineage.
An entire family together. Okay.
You bury an entire family together.
That's cool.
For
That's a
example,
cool
the
mechanic.
Navalius Inheritance
Ooh.
Belt. I'll give you a moment to check that out.
Oh my god.
What?
It's
You
only
can use
duration
other
that's
corpses
kinda
alongside
good.
them to grant implicit
Oh
mods,
god.
manipulate the
That's
values
insane.
of explicit mods, and more. In this case, with the Parandus Pact, you can even change the
Parandus
modifiers it
Pact.
generates.
5
Aesthetics rule.
maximum life.
This unique is a jewel which adds extra stats to passive skills in a radius when socketed into
Oh,
the
it's
passive
not
skill
only
tree.
life apparently.
The stats it adds are randomly generated, but you can bias it towards a specific type by using other crafting effects,
Oh, you
such
can,
as this one,
oh,
which
you can,
increases the chance of getting life
different
modifiers.
things, so you can make it
Let's see
life
what we get.
or whatever you want. That's cool.
Grit multi.
Multi says, "Oh, you're gonna do tornado shot again?" It seems.
I don't know, I was just thinking crit multi is good.
Damn, we didn't get it this time.
I mean, you
guess we're
got
gonna have to
lovely
go and
crit-
collect more
crit.
corpses.
Why damn? That's
Of
also
course,
good.
Also
You can trade the
good.
corpses away to other players. All you need to do is purchase
You
empty
can
coffins from
trade
the
corpses
Undertaker
as well.
and use them on your
Good.
corpses in the morgue, which will itemize them.
Wait, they're actually just laying there and you
Another
can
item in the
itemize
Necropolis
them.
League
That's
that you can
funny.
find
That's
are
cool.
Embers of the All Flame. These are monster spirits that remain living in the All Flame. a powerful ancient artifact of Rayclast.
Back
And you can set
monsters
them
are
free by
harmless
placing them in
frogs.
the Lantern of Aramor and defeating them. These embers drop throughout Rayclast as itemized packs of monsters. You are able to use these packs to replace the packs in areas. For example, we have found this all-flame ember of
Tattoos.
Can
Tarkor.
drop Karoo tattoos.
We can
Tattoos
now
are
go
back.
to enter the next area and replace one of the monster packs in here.
Did you see it, Manga?
You can
Wait,
see
what?
we have
I
also
Tattoos
got
are
one
back.
of the
Tattoos are back.
devoted
Yeah,
modifiers
can
to
drop
appear.
Karoo tattoos.
We can pair up the Karui
my
ancestors with this modifier, making them even more rewarding. Let's go ahead and replace the tentacle miscreations.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
However, when replacing packs, you want to double check their density, as the new pack will inherit the density of the replaced pack.
That's cool.
The Karui ancestors we have now added to our area can even drop basic variations of tattoos. If you aren't aware, this is an item type from the Trial of the Ancestors League, which can be used on passive skills to change what they do.
Oh, that's so good.
There are many different types of
Didn't you
itemized
not say
packs.
that there's a limit
You can
to
find
tattoos?
Breach and Legion monsters that drop splinters, untainted packs that provide insane amounts of experience, and even simple
Yeah.
frogs, which can be used to replace difficult monsters to make life easier.
Harmless
And of
frogs.
course, these Ember
fun.
monsters can be raised as specters too.
Spectres. Of course.
Finally, let's discuss how this league works in in-game maps. Each in-game
It
map will
doesn't.
allow you to manipulate it using the lantern on the map device UI.
Each in-game
However,
map.
instead of
What?
randomly cycling every few minutes, it is fixed to that map. Once you view the map through the lantern, you cannot remove it from the map device, so you can't trade that map away now that you've seen it as too difficult for you, or has monsters in it that you'd rather avoid, like porcupines. We're also trying something new this time around. During the Necropolis League, there will be support
Oh.
for the League on the Atlas passive tree.
Ooh.
Multiple
Ooh.
clusters will be there, allowing you to enhance the gameplay,
That's
customize
good.
it, and even change its
That's
behavior
nice.
in meaningful ways.
That's nice.
One
You
way
can
that you can
change it
change the crafting in a
before
meaningful
the fucking
way
League
is with the
games, you know?
Prospero's Wager Keystone.
What?
Reveals a
With this
random
keystone,
craft
all
when
the monsters
buried.
with unresolved anguish come with this crafting modifier, which causes them to generate a random craft when buried. This means instead of pre-planning your crafts, you have to adapt to them on the fly to get the best results.
Stack modifiers.
These clusters will not be
It
available
just
in
gives
standard
you
League.
a random rare mod. When you
In 324,
Yeah.
we've made a
Interesting.
plethora of changes to the endgame. We're introducing new bosses, adding another tier of maps, and streamlining the Atlas. The most difficult and most rewarding content in Path of Exile can be found in Uber Pinnacle bosses,
Absolutely.
such as the Maven and the Searing Exarch. Currently, the only way to access these bosses is by allocating specific keystones on the Atlas passive tree.
Wait.
While this system offers a nice element of control, it causes a problem. Rewards and access to the non-Uber variants are now economically priced around the rewards of the Uber fights. This makes it wasteful to run the non-Uber variants instead of simply selling them.
So now you can drop Uber
Another
shit
problem
from-
that we noticed is the difficulty jump between the Pinnacle and Uber Pinnacle content was relatively large, and there wasn't obvious content that could bridge this gap.
True.
Many players would give up on their characters before being able to defeat the Uber Pinnacle bosses.
True, big true.
In 324, we will be making some changes to this. We are removing the keystones that give access to the Uber Pinnacle bosses from the Atlas tree, and instead we'll be adding a new set of fragments that give you access to this content. Where do you get these fragments?
Well, the normal.
We are adding a new tier of maps, Tier 17 maps,
Oh.
which not only give you access to the Uber Pinnacle content, but also test your characters in new ways. They feature a new set of bosses, Uber monsters, and a new tier of modifiers that can roll on the maps. There are 5 new Tier 17 maps in total, with some surprising boss fights at the end. We'll look at a couple today, and the rest you'll have to discover for yourself.
It's kind of
Oh
insane.
my god.
First, we have the Citadel map. This map contains an ancient Kalguran citadel. You will encounter many expedition monsters as the signature packs throughout the map. At the end, you will fight Uber Uhtred.
Okay.
Oh
This
my
is a
god.
version of a boss from Expedition League, with all its abilities and mechanics enhanced.
Oh
Uber
my
Uhtred
word.
will even be able to summon 2 other expedition bosses to aid it
No, I
during
like
fight.
that.
Other
because you can actually
expedition mobs.
Secondly,
You can
we have
actually
the Fortress map.
train.
This map is an impregnable fortress,
I feel like you want to play
guarded by
some kind
monsters
of
from
a
the Heist League.
single target.
At the end, you will
Viable
encounter
character
an
in this
Uber
league.
version of
Yeah.
the Unbreakable. Again, it has enhanced abilities and mechanics you'll have to learn and overcome.
Whoa.
Each of the Tier 17 map bosses has a
Katarina.
chance to drop a unique item, allowing
Wait,
for
that
some
is
target
Katarina.
farming. However, these aren't entirely new unique items. Instead, we've taken other unique items, removing them from the core drop pool, and rebalancing them to fit here. One example is this reworked version of Wraith Lord. It has 4 Abyss sockets, and allows you to summon an additional Spectre for each Ghastly Eye Jewel socketed into it.
Wow.
Whoa.
What?
Another example is Mana Storm.
That's kind of insane.
This has been rebalanced to grant a lot more damage than before, alongside some more impactful mana stats.
Holy shit.
If you can get lucky
That's
rolls.
a lot of mana regen, boys. Whoa.
Alongside adding tier
95%
17 maps,
mana
we have also changed the Uber Pinnacle bosses to have completely distinct unique item drop pools from their non-Uber counterparts.
That's good.
This means there is a reason to farm both versions. Let's take a look at the Shaper versus the Uber Shaper. The Shaper will drop these uniques.
Ooh,
Like
no
so.
one
Voidwalker, Shaper's Touch, Solstice Vigil,
No, because
and
that's
Dying
gonna be
Sun.
Uber.
Whereas the Uber Shaper will drop these.
Yup.
Echoes of Creation, Sublime Vision, Entropic Devastation, Starforge, and a new unique belt called the Tides of Time.
The tides
Life
of
recovery, mana recovery.
Oh, that's
Another example of a new unique is this helmet from the Uber Eater of Worlds, Ravenous Passion. And these gloves
Hey,
from the
your
Uber
rage,
Searing
boy.
Exarch, the Celestial Brace. Each
Oh,
of the
that's
Uber
cool.
Pinnacle bosses
Grand
has a new
fortification.
unique added
Instead
to
of
their
attack
drop
speed.
pools.
So this is
We've identified
rage
another
can
major
do
problem with the
spell
endgame
damage
we'd like
now.
to address.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's
With
great
every
spell.
expansion added to the game, we have
That's
been
cool.
increasing the complexity of running maps. It's at the point now where a player must repeatedly execute a large sequence of steps to run maps efficiently.
True.
It can be easy to forget critical steps, and it can be tiring
Please
to
remove
repeat them.
the
Big
sections.
To solve this, we are removing some systems, but are keeping what is good about them. The
Okay.
2 main systems we've removed are Sextants and the Master Mission Selector. It is not our intention to dull the content, however. We have completely reworked Scarabs to include most of the options that were previously covered by those mechanics,
Big nice.
and many, many more. Let's take a look at some
maybe
of them.
maybe we do
Commonly, you
do-
might find
do
Scarabs that
content
simply
then.
grant access to
If
different
it's
content.
changing, then I might.
Here, we
So
have
no
a
more
Scarab that
master
causes
missions
Beyond
and
Demons
no
to spawn
more,
when killing monsters in your
Sextant.
maps. And here, we have one that adds a Delirium Mirror.
That's still the same.
Each type of Scarab now has
Oh,
multiple versions.
See, I
so
told
if you
you
want to
even
fully
higher.
invest in a type of content,
Wait, that's
you can do
even
so.
higher
Yeah.
than.
Here's a
Yeah.
suite of Ultimatum Scarabs. This Ultimatum Scarab
There's
adds an
now one
Ultimatum
in
encounter to a
between
map.
Winged and
This
the
Ultimatum
other one.
Scarab of Bribing then causes that Ultimatum encounter to grant better rewards and its monsters to yield more experience. This Ultimatum Scarab of Dueling will cause that Ultimatum encounter to always guarantee the
What?
Trial Master boss fight at the
Whoa!
end, assuming you can
Whoa,
survive
that's
through
cool.
all the rounds.
But it's a golden
This
one.
Ultimatum Scarab of Catalyzing will cause
It
all
seems
rewards
like-
from that Ultimatum to be catalysts, instead
Wait,
of other rewards.
The scarabs
And
do
finally,
not go
this
up
Ultimatum
in tier,
Scarab
they
of Inscription
change.
Yeah,
will
they
cause
have
all
different
catalyst
stages
rewards
now.
from that
They
Ultimatum
differ
to be
in what they
inscribed
change.
Ultimatums
That's cool.
instead. There are plenty of others.
Okay.
If you enjoy divination card farming, you might want to use these. This Divination Scarab of Curation causes more
favourite map.
divination cards
Oh
to
my
drop
God.
for each different favoured map you have selected. But it also causes whatever map you're running to
Wait.
only drop divination cards from those
Oh,
favoured
that's
maps.
funny.
So if you want to try and aim for your Mage Blood and don't want to just farm Crimson Temple, then this Scarab is
Oh,
for
that's
you.
so good.
This Divination Scarab of Completion causes your Divination cards to have a 20% chance to drop as a full stack instead.
Full
for
stack. Oh
maximum
my
dopamine.
god.
Basically,
Jesus.
there are now just a lot
Holy
of
shit.
Scarabs. You might have also noticed that they no longer have tiers. Scarabs are now all world drops. You can get them anywhere. Some might be rarer than
word,
others,
boys.
but the intention is
Well, you
that there'll
can
be a
just
lot
drop
more
them in the
options
world
than
now.
before, and more interesting combinations to
assuming it's
consider. If you want to
endgame.
target specific Scarabs, Betrayal has been updated to include most of them, and you will need to relearn which ones come from where. While this system is allowing you to heavily invest in one type of content, it is reducing your capacity for variety. To address this, we have massively increased access to content on the Atlas passive tree. You are now able to reliably get different leagues like Breach or Legion from just your Atlas passives.
Well, that's a lot of percentage increases.
Regarding
They removed
master
the stuff.
missions,
Okay.
content
I want
such
to
as
skip.
Incursion, Delve, Betrayal, and Bestiary, these too are now accessible with Scarabs, and have more reliable investment options on the tree. Not only this, you can now get Jun, Einhar, Alva, and Nico to appear together in the same map.
That's cool.
We have
That's a
also
good
removed
change.
some keystones such as Wandering Path, Grand Design, and
Oh.
Growing Hordes.
All the good ones are
But I've
gone.
Or
added
they
some
moved
new ones
Wandering
too.
Path
For
to
example,
be farther up.
Unwavering Vision,
Oh, okay.
Back to Basics, and Thorough Exploration.
Final map bosses are
Wisps.
empowered by Affliction
And
Wisps.
we have added some new
What?
notables
Wait.
such as Remarkable Relics, which allows you to try find better variants of scarabs.
Ooh.
Mounting Modifiers, which increases the values of modifiers on your maps by 2% for each explicit modifier. And Tainted Carapaces, which is just one in a set of many that allow you to target farm specific types of scarabs.
Ooh.
These are just a few of the many new notables that can be found on the Atlas passive skill tree.
That's so good.
Lastly, we are giving you more flexibility in what content you want to run in the endgame. In 3.24, you can now have multiple copies of the Atlas tree, which can be swapped between maps at your leisure.
Multiple.
You can
copies of
unlock
the
up to
Atlas
2
tree.
extra trees for a total
Oh,
of
3
3
MFs.
by
MFs.
progressing
Look
through
at
the
him.
endgame and completing core content.
Look at what he's skilling. Copy it.
When
Copy
you
it.
open a map, you can select which tree you would like to use. For a given league, you'll
Oh,
never feel
that's
constrained
cool.
to playing your endgame a single way. You can also label your trees to easily identify which one has which content.
Oh, that's so
With all
good.
this
Oh my
combined,
god.
we're hoping to see new endgame strategies shine through. While playing through the campaign in 3.24, you'll notice a myriad of small improvements and surprises.
It's shorter.
The fundamentals of the campaign are still intact, but we've scattered fun encounters and secrets throughout Rayclass.
Secrets?
The Dweller of the Deep has been trapped.
Ooh.
What are these ritual shrines doing in the Northern Forest?
What are they doing there?
And why are they giving me omens?
Omens.
Ooh. Ooh.
That's fun.
This device looks safe. I should definitely use this on my items.
What the fuck?
There are plenty more encounters
What
to
the
discover. We'll continue adding more
where's the boss?
surprises in future
Investigate the
releases.
Orflame.
So keep an eye out.
What the fuck does that mean?
In the previous expansion,
it doesn't show
3.23,
it.
we released a large number of transfigured
gems.
skill gems.
Here
we go.
These are alternate versions of existing skill gems that function in very different ways, allowing for
that
more
the
build
falling
and
zombie
gameplay
one?
variety. At the time, our aspirations were higher than we could achieve.
Oh god.
We planned
Elemental
more
hit.
gems than we could
Ooh,
make.
that's new.
So, in
That's
3.24,
definitely new.
we're adding another set of transfigured
Oh,
gems
this looks
that we
like
have now finished.
elemental hit.
High
I
shot,
shot.
incinerate, artillery ballista, tornado, elemental hit, kinetic blast,
Kinetic
poisonous
blast.
concoction, and lastly, summon holy relic.
Summon Holy
Hopefully
Relic,
those
okay.
of you who missed your favorite skill having a transfigured variant will get that here. We will certainly be adding more of these in the future, especially for skills that are missing them still. Of course, we'll also be doing a
Ooh.
balance pass on the existing transfigured gems. One of the main ones we're looking at is Kinetic Bolt of Fragmentation. As a result of this change, it is clear that the endgame potential of the Wander archetype really starts to suffer, mostly in the single target damage department. Due to this, we've added the new support gem, Sacred Wisps. This support gem causes supported skills to create 2 attached wisps for a duration. With these wisps, whenever you attack, they have a chance to also use the same skill, if you have enemies in your presence. And if there are any rare or unique enemies, they will always use the skill.
That's insane.
That leads us into all the other quality of life features we're introducing in 3.24.
Tornado shot
And
wisps.
there's a shitload of them.
Yeah.
Many of these have been revealed in teasers already, but here's a quick summary. We've added the automation and call to arms skill gems for being able to trigger instant skills and
Wait, I
warp
thought you were talking about PoE2 with those.
No, no,
No?
no.
You can now hold down Control and left click to automatically apply certain currency orbs until they achieve the desired result.
Oh, this is
Or you run
such a
out.
good change as well.
For example, you can hold down fusings until you reach maximum links.
Oh,
You will be able to control,
This is
shift,
also a
click
good change.
currency into a trade window to automatically
Control,
move all of
shift,
that
click.
currency
yeah,
at
but why
once
do they
from your
stack to 10?
inventory.
I think the stack to
Detonate
20
Dead
was
now has clearer telegraphing
maybe either
effects.
a mistake.
No.
When
this is-
harvest crafting, the
Or
item
if
hover
they
will
are
always
changing
be
it.
visible,
I don't know.
so you no longer have to mouse back and forth to see the results of your crafts. When you use a Val orb on a map, the map no longer has a chance to become unidentified. Instead, it adds a new implicit. We've created
Does
a
it
set of
always
implicits that
add an
affect the
implicit?
areas in fun
Yes.
ways. Related to that, corrupted and mirrored items can now be
Yay.
identified. Breach hands now open upon approach, and no longer need to be
That's a good
clicked.
change.
Upgrades
So
to
annoying
Pantheon
to
powers
click.
now apply to all characters in a league.
Oh,
You
even
no
better.
longer need to grind divine vessels on each new character.
Oh, that's such a good change.
With harvest crafting, you can now re-roll Uber Elder fragments.
Good change.
Fragments dropped by the Shaper cannot be re-rolled into fragments dropped by the Elder, and vice versa. Regarding
Yay.
Betrayal, we're removing Ashling's
No longer
crafting
called
bench as a
Chaos,
reward.
it's Veiled Orb.
Instead, Veiled Orbs
Veiled
now
Orb.
perform that function. They remove a mod and replace it with a Veiled mod. These orbs now drop from Katarina and are no longer a world drop. Flasks
Wait.
can now be corrupted by Val Orbs, giving random -10 to
Does it
+10
replace
quality.
it?
The capability to add extra quality to weapons, armors, and flasks has been removed from Betrayal. The Betrayal bench craft that converts an amulet to a talisman has been moved to Bestiary, and thus can be traded. Maven invitations no longer
Doesn't
drop.
replace it.
Instead, when you have completed witnessing all bosses required to go to the Maven's arena,
Yeah, but-
you can just talk to Kirak,
No.
and he'll open a map device window with the invitation already in there,
Oh,
ready
so
to be
good.
rolled.
No,
Valro's
my
maps that
currency
granted
making.
invitations now give scarabs. No more having to waste Guardian kills to try get invitations to drop.
What do you mean?
Next
Like,
up, we're going
buy
to be
them?
talking about our new League supporter packs. Today, we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs, the Solar and Eldritch packs.
Show me.
Each tier contains the full pack's face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions.
Show me.
These packs are only available for the duration of the Necropolis League,
Show me.
and will leave the store forever when it ends.
Shh. Show
As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic, and do not affect your character's power or
Lies.
progression in any way.
Oh,
The Solar series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive
sword.
microtransactions. The Cosmos weapon effect adorns your weapon with stars. Hitting enemies causes cosmic energy to spill out into the area around them. The Radiant Orb of Chance extra effect projects the outcome of items you've used an Orb of Chance on above your head.
we needed this
Remember to
ages ago.
congratulate other exiles in town if you see them chance a powerful unique item.
Hey.
Oh, that's cool.
Shine boldly with the Solar Knight armor set. The power of the sun radiates from your body, getting more and more intense as you use skills and emitting solar flares as you run. With the Supernova level up extra effect, the dead will be raised from the ground around you before being obliterated and turned to ash by an epic supernova whenever you level
Kinda
up.
cool.
That's kind of cool.
This
yeah.
one is my personal favorite. The Cosmic Turtle Hideout lets you travel the infinite expanse of the
Oh my
cosmos
That's
atop
a
the
cool
back of a colossal
hideout.
turtle. Carry the
800
weight of the
euros.
sun on your back with the
No,
Solar
God.
Guardian back attachment. Witness it grow larger and larger as the energy of slain enemies is funneled into it.
Looks
When it
kinda
reaches
funny.
its maximum size, it goes supernova and turns into a black hole, forever drifting throughout Rayclast.
Forever
The Eldritch
drifting.
Pack series also has 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Yo, that
Are you
device
wondering if we moved the
amazing.
stats in the latest
Tentacle map
patch?
device.
Don't be fooled, because with the Mimic Stash Pet, players can transform into an image of a stash when in a town or hideout and scare unsuspecting exiles.
That's fun.
This pet follows behind you with its terrifying hand walking the rest of the time. The Shaper's Slam finisher effect sends slain unique enemies
that's
into a
nice.
void.
An abyss
That's a cool
of
slam.
unending darkness.
Unending dark.
300
The
euros.
Eldritch Hunger armor set contains a beast that
Oh,
demands
that
you
looks
defeat
cool.
it by embracing your bloodlust. Watch it grow in power the more you kill until it bursts from the shell of the helmet. Are you able to satiate its hunger? The seed within the
Oh,
corrupted
that
growth
looks
map
cool as
device
well.
expands its grasp on your hideout, the more maps you complete on your atlas. Equipping the Headhunter character
cool.
effect causes skulls of slain rare enemies to whirl around you
That
like
is cool.
trophies.
That's cool as
They
well.
become enraged when you are near a rare enemy you are yet to kill, wishing for them to join your collection. Witness a reality where the struggle didn't exist, allowing the Eldritch Horrors to settle their own conflicts with the Eldritch Horror Apparition effect. Which of the Eater of Worlds or Searing Exarch do you think will win? These packs are now available for purchase
How
on both
much?
PC and console,
How much?
and will remain so during Path of Exile Necropolis.
How
The
much?
mimic is so
Meanwhile,
fun.
the Shade and Disciple packs leave the store forever
can
at
do
the
that in
launch
your
of Necropolis League. So now's your last
The
chance to
supporter
purchase
packs
them.
are released.
Thank
You
you
can go
so
have a look
much
at
for your
them.
ongoing support.
Oh my god.
We're just about to start the Q&A with GGG.
So the night one is only
Afterwards,
60,
we'll
which
post
is nice.
Path of Exile Necropolis' full patch
The
notes.
Guardian
With
Turtle
release at the end
hideout
of
is
next
90.
week, our community team will be
Yeah,
posting
that's
crucial
not bad.
information
90?
you'll need for Necropolis'
Only
release.
90, yeah.
Keep an eye on the news.
Yeah, I was
On
about to
release
say that
weekend,
ain't too
we
bad.
expect to launch the new mystery box and this season's Kerax Vault Pass.
Yeah, no, it's...
Thank you for
I like
joining
it.
us today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to doing some awesome
Oh,
gravecrafts and conquering the new
stash is
in-game
also-
bosses
the
with you
mimic
next
is also
week.
30.
Also,
We'll begin the Q&A
only 30
shortly,
the
so
stash
please
thing,
get your
yeah.
questions ready.
Ah, but both of them are 90 if you want everything.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so.